YouTube channel Auto Touch 5 Tech. Today, we're diving into a world that makes every car enthusiast's heart race, the roaring power of big engines in 2025 muscle cars. There's something about the raw growl of a powerful engine that ignites excitement in any automotive fan. Whether you're a die-hard muscle car enthusiast or just someone who appreciates the thrill of high-performance machines, this is one video you won't want to miss. For more time, watch the video. Muscle cars have always held a special place in the world of automobiles. They represent freedom, power, and rebellion, and they do it with style. Back in the 60s and 70s, American manufacturers defined the muscle car era with beasts like the Ford Mustang, Dodge Charger, Chevrolet Camaro, and Pontiac GTO. These cars were all about packing massive engines into mid-sized, lightweight bodies, giving drivers an unmatched sense of power. Fast forward to 2025, and muscle cars have evolved with modern technology while staying true to their roots. The big engines are still here, and they sound better than ever. When you talk about muscle cars in 2025, one thing stands out: the sound of those engines. The deep, throaty growl when you fire them up, the aggressive rumble at idle, and the earth-shaking roar when you stomp on the gas pedal. There's nothing like it. These are the sounds that make people turn their heads, pull out their phones, and hit record. It's raw mechanical music that stirs the soul. Under the hood of these modern muscle machines, you'll still find big displacement V8 engines dominating the scene. Let's take a look at some of the most iconic powerhouses on the road today. First up, we have the 2025 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Red-Eye. This beast is powered by a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi V8 that produces a staggering 797 horsepower. The sound of this engine alone could startle wildlife miles away. When you hit the throttle, the supercharger whines like a jet engine while the exhaust thunders with the fury of 1,000 storms. The Red-Eye can rocket from 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds, but it's the soundtrack that makes the experience unforgettable. Then there's the 2025 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. This isn't just a car, it's an American icon. The GT500 is powered by a supercharged 5.2-liter Predator V8 producing 760 horsepower. When you fire it up, the engine lets out a sharp bark before settling into a deep, steady rumble. Hit the gas, and you're treated to a symphony of pops, crackles, and snarls that only a flat plane crank V8 can deliver. Whether you're cruising down the highway or tearing up the track, the GT500 makes its presence known with every rev. Chevrolet didn't hold back with the 2025 Camaro 1 Zelati, either. Under the hood is a supercharged 6.2-liter LT4 V8, delivering 650 horsepower. It may not have the highest horsepower in this group, but the sound is nothing short of spine-tingling. At idle, the ZL1 emits a bass-heavy burble that resonates through your chest. As the RPMs climb, the exhaust note transforms into a ferocious roar, followed by aggressive crackles when you lift off the throttle. It's addictive and absolutely unforgettable. We can't forget about the newcomers on the scene either. Dodge introduced the all-new 2025 Charger Daytona SRT Banshee, an all-electric muscle car that, while lacking a traditional internal combustion engine, still delivers an artificial sound called the fratzonic chambered exhaust. While purists may argue it's not the same as a V8 growl, the futuristic scream of this EV is something to behold. It's loud, it's aggressive, and it brings a new kind of excitement to muscle car fans. But let's focus on those big internal combustion engines because there's just something special about them. Big engines are at the heart of the muscle car legend. These aren't the highly strung small displacement engines you'll find in European sports cars. Muscle cars are about cubic inches, raw displacement, and old-school power. The big block engines of today still have that same philosophy. Take the 7.0-liter V8 found in some custom builds and resto mods. Tuned to perfection, these engines can produce well over 800 horsepower naturally aspirated, and the sound they produce is absolutely primal. No turbos, no superchargers, just raw air, fuel, and fire. One of the reasons these big engines sound so incredible is because of their firing order and exhaust design. A cross-plane crank V8 has an uneven firing order that gives it that distinct lumpy idle and thunderous rumble. Pair that with a properly tuned exhaust system, long tube headers, high-flow catalytic converters, and a straight pipe or performance muffler, and you have a recipe for one of the best sounds on the planet. What makes the sound even more captivating is the way these engines communicate what's happening inside. At idle, you hear the deep thump of combustion as each cylinder fires in sequence. As you accelerate, you hear the engine climb through the rev range, each pulse becoming more urgent, the exhaust note rising in pitch and volume. There's a mechanical honesty to it. You can feel the pistons pumping, the crankshaft spinning, and the valves opening and closing. It's a living, breathing thing. In 2025, modern technology has only enhanced these sounds. Active exhaust systems allow drivers to control how loud or quiet they want their car to be. You can keep things civilized around town, but with the push of a button, unleash the full fury of the engine. Engineers have fine-tuned these systems to maximize both sound quality and performance. The result: muscle cars that sound meaner and more refined than ever before. One of the best places to experience this is at a drag strip. Imagine standing on the sidelines as a pair of 2025 Dodge Challenger Super stocks line up. Each car is packing over 800 horsepower, their engines rumbling as the drivers bring up the RPMs for launch. The smell of burnt rubber and high-octane fuel fills the air. Suddenly, both cars launch off the line, and the sound is deafening. The engines scream in unison, tires smoke, and the ground shakes. It's an experience you don't just hear, you feel it in your bones. For those who crave an even more intense sound, aftermarket modifications can take things to the next level. Companies like Borla, Magnaflow, and Flowmaster offer exhaust systems that amplify every note of these big engines. Headers, mid-pipes, and mufflers are designed to reduce back pressure and enhance flow, resulting in louder, sharper, and more aggressive exhaust notes. Some enthusiasts even opt for open headers, no mufflers, no cats, just raw exhaust gases screaming directly out of the engine. Of course, with great power and sound comes responsibility. In 2025, emissions regulations are tighter than ever, and automakers have worked hard to make these big engines cleaner without sacrificing performance. Many of these V8 engines feature cylinder deactivation, direct injection, and variable valve timing to improve efficiency. Some even use mild hybrid systems to give an extra boost while reducing fuel consumption. Despite these advancements, they've managed to preserve the sound that makes muscle cars legendary. It's not just about speed or numbers on a spec sheet. It's about the feeling you get when you sit behind the wheel, start the engine, and hear it come to life. It's about the way the car shakes ever so slightly at idle, how the exhaust echoes off buildings as you drive by, and how strangers give you a thumbs up at stoplights. It's about the community of enthusiasts who gather at car meets, all drawn together by a shared love for these powerful